Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. But for a radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all could be with us. Also, tuning in to our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast, we're glad you all could be with us as well. But for those who into some great competitions, this is an exciting time for you all. Not only do we have Super Bowl 57 coming up on Sunday, February the 12th, but also, if you guys are fans of Discovery, there's a great robot fighting competition that's on there called BattleBots. An individual who knows about both is here joining us for our next segment. We're excited to welcome Chris Rhodes to our broadcast. You guys know him, of course, from his work at NFL Network, but also he gives you guys the commentary for BattleBots as well. We'll talk to him about what he's looking forward to when it comes to Super Bowl, but also the excitement around BattleBots as well. Chris, thank you again for the time. Really do appreciate you stopping by.
Cyrus, my pleasure. How are you?
Doing really well. I'm excited to talk to you about BattleBots. It is really, grabbing people's attention. But, of course, this week it seems like everyone is also talking about the big game, that being the Super Bowl this Sunday. Chris, what has it been like for you to kind of see the excitement around this game?
There's nothing like it. I think this is my 17th Super Bowl I'm about to go cover. Wow. It's amazing. And actually, I'll be honest with you, I've got the best show at NFL Network to do for the entire year. I'll be hosting Game Day Final, which is the one that wraps up the entire Super Bowl. We're down on the field. We interview all the players and the coaches. They come over to our desk after the game, and there's nothing quite like it. There's, so much of sports has become big business, and I understand it. I don't begrudge it at all. Guys should get paid whatever they can, and owners should run companies however they want to run it. But there are very few moments where the human side of it all comes together. And one of the times is right after winning a Super Bowl or any sort of championship that you may cover. It's not about dollars and cents. It's about working as hard as you have your entire life since maybe you were 6 years old, and you are now at the top of the mountain, right? And you're looking out over the whole football landscape, and you have a chance to thank whomever you want to thank for helping you get there. And It's a life-changing moment for a lot of these guys, and I feel very honored to get the opportunity to be around them when this sort of stuff happens.
And, Chris, what is great about what you all have done at NFL Network, you've also, to allude to the point you were just making, being able to share some of these human stories, there's a lot of personal connections I think people will feel about this particular matchup between the Eagles and the Chiefs. What has that been like for you to look at? That, as you said, of course, the game is the big thing, but the individuals behind it and their personal stories are so powerful as well. What has that been like for you to kind of see how this has all come together?
Well, there's no better one than this week, because we've got a pair of brothers playing against one another for the first time in the history of the Super Bowl, the Kelsey brothers. And these are a couple guys who are, the best at their positions. Travis is the outstanding tight end for the Chiefs, and his older brother Jason has been an amazing center and the emotional spark plug for the Eagles for well over a decade. The fact that they get to be there and that their mom's going to be wearing a split half Chiefs, half Eagles jersey is nothing short of amazing. I think we all have to kind of appreciate that moment, those of us that have siblings, to, sit there and wonder what it would be like where, if you love your brother the way these two guys love each other, but they want to win something for themselves and their team and their city and that whole bit. I think it's going to be just a fascinating watch, and, they're both big personalities. So I'm going to be talking to one of them after the game. I'll be curious to see if the other one wants to stick around on the field just to see what it's like, because, usually you want to party it up with your family members, but if they just beat you, it's a totally different emotion. So I'll be very curious.
Right. Well, as I said, Chris, you have a lot going on right now. Now, of course, are you able to cover the big game with Super Bowl this Sunday? But also, as I mentioned, you're a commentator for BattleBots. At the time we're having this conversation, Chris, when I was prepping for this segment, I noticed over 1 million subscribers to its designated YouTube channel. What has that been like for you to see how people have really gotten into this robot fighting competition and the intrigue it's kind of brought about?
Yeah, well, first of all, for people that haven't seen BattleBots, it's a pair pair of 250-pound robots inside of a bulletproof glass cube, and they are fighting for 3 minutes or until the death. And so we have robots that are built all different shapes and sizes, all different weapons, whether it's a vertical spinner, a horizontal spinner, a lifter bot, a flipper bot. Some of them are super fast, others are a little bit slower. Some can blow things up. Some are fire-breathing robots. They run the entire gamut, and it is so much fun to watch. We're actually now 4 weeks into our regular season. You can catch us every Thursday night on Discovery at 8 o'clock Eastern. And don't feel like because we're 4 weeks into it that you've missed it. This isn't like a scripted show where you're going to be behind on character development. That's not the way it goes. Really, you have to think of it a little bit like a college basketball season, where each of the 50 robots in our field has 4 fights to show the selection committee that they're good enough to make it to the playoffs. And if you get picked, there's 32 robots, and from there we have our own bracket, just like you do during the NCAA tournament, that you can fill out and have fun with. And from there it's win, you move on, lose, you go home. But listen, I'll be honest, when I joined the group in 2015, I didn't know a damn thing about it. I didn't know anything about it. And I'm not a real technical wizard. In fact, I start breaking out into sweats when I start using my electric screwdriver. So this isn't my background, but I love it. I love it because who doesn't love seeing stuff blown up and no humans get hurt? Like, it is the perfect show for you, whether you're 7 years old or whether you're 70.
Well, Chris, one of the things I thought about when I was prepping for this is, for one thing, the advancements in technology. This really is what impresses me so much about this. I mean, what has that component been like for you to see how these things actually came from us, and what they're able to do?
Yeah, I am more convinced now than ever that robots are going to take over the world. I just am. And I'm just hoping I'm on the right side of it, that I can be buddy-buddy and be like, hey, remember when I used to call your robot fight? Remember that? Like, please don't rip off my limbs. I really want to survive. So the people that create these things, you don't have to have an engineering background. You don't have to be a genius, but it sure helps. And some of these people are just so talented. Remember, they're doing this some on their own dime, and they're all doing it on their own time as well. And it really is nothing short of remarkable. Just even if you spin up old 2015 YouTube clips and then go watch an episode this Thursday, you'll see how much these robots have improved. It's really unbelievable.
Really is. And you're there in the middle of all the action, Chris. Again, everyone, Chris Rose has been our guest. You guys know him, of course, from the NFL Network. So, of course, he will be covering Super Bowl 57 this Sunday, but also, as I mentioned, commentator for BattleBots, the robot fighting competition on Discovery. As you heard him mention, you can catch it Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 7 p.m. Central Time for us here in Mississippi. Chris, really appreciate you taking out some time to be with us. I know it's a busy week for you, and it goes without saying you're welcome back here anytime.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Anytime, and thank you so much. And we'll see you Thursday on Discovery. I'll see you Sunday right after the game. Flip on over to NFL Network. We'll be bringing you all the champions. So I can't wait. And this is a really, really fun time. I'm very, very lucky to do what I do.
Exactly. Love that. Thank you, Chris. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.